If you're not using Kahoot in your teaching yet, then you're really missing out. I have multiple videos and blog posts and a collection of activities now for high flex teaching, all linked below for you to watch. But today is specifically a tutorial. So exactly how Kahoot can be used. I'll focus on the free account rather than the paid one. So if you're been wanting to use it or you've been considering it but are not sure how, go ahead and watch this tutorial to see if it is for you. So here we have the dashboard. Once you sign into your account, you'll see this page. Of course, I already have Kahoots that I've created, including the one that's part of my collection of hybrid or high flex activity ideas. I'll link that below. But what are you going to do? The first thing is click this create button on the top right here, and this page will appear. Now, there are templates that you can look at, but again, I'm using the free version. So then there's this element of, well, a lot of them are part of the pro. This one isn't, but I prefer to just keep it simple and create my own from scratch. So once you click that, you end up on this page. Okay, so to take a look around, first thing I suggest is giving it a title, right? So you can title it whatever you'd like. You could also describe it if you want to. You can decide where you're going to save it to. One thing here is visibility on for only you or for everyone. So everyone means it's public. I tend to do only you, right? So I save it so it's private just to me. And then when I share it with my students, obviously they can see it as well. So you can add a cover image if you want and make it more fancy, but we're keeping it simple. Give it a title, describe it if you want to, and say who it's visible to, right? And then you can just click done there. And so now it's been renamed. Now, you have the first basically slide, right? Which is your first question. And so to add questions is very simple right here, right? So you click add a question and you can decide which one you want to add. For the free account, you can add a quiz question or true and false. Okay, the rest of them require payment, but I just tend to create quiz questions because even true or false ones can be created with a quiz question. Not a big deal. Okay, but you can decide which one to do. Right, so let's say quiz. Right, and now you have two questions here. You just continually add questions as you go along. You can also click and drag and reorder the questions as well. So you don't have to worry about having to do it in the order when you create them. You can move them around as much as you need to. You can also have here the question bank. So maybe you have a question that you want to, search, right? So I'm looking for, let's say, literary analysis. And you can see what pops up, right? And so if you want to use those, then you can go ahead and add them into your quiz. So that's another way of finding quiz questions. But if not, we're going to create our own. So here's our first question. Now, notice here, there are character limits for the question itself as well as the answers. So 120 characters. So you're going to type out your question. So let's say, what is your favorite book genre? Right. And then you go just down the page, right? So how long do they have to answer this question? It could be an easy one, maybe it's super fast, or maybe it actually takes quite a bit of time. So you can go as far as 240 seconds, right? So that's basically 4 minutes, or it can be very short. I usually do between 30 and 90. Depending on, again, what type of question you're asking here. I think 30 seconds for your favorite book genre is, very accurate to how much time that would take. If it was, a math problem, then obviously you'd give them more minutes. But that's where you choose how long the question will be. You can also decide how much point it's worth. You can drag it and make it worth more or less points, right? It's up to you to decide that. If you want to, you can add an image, right? So maybe you can go to the image library here. And you can decide here, okay, what do I want to use? The question was about books. So you might see here, these are all the free ones. You could potentially find, pretty quickly, or maybe not, but something that connects to books. So maybe business here. All right. Go down here. Okay, I'll pretend that this guy's reading an ebook. All right, so you can click that and you can make it the cover of your particular question. And then after that, of course, you type in the answers. So for example, horror, and then fantasy, drama. So you can do as many answers as you want, up to 4. Okay. And then since it's the free version, right, it has to be a quiz question. There has to be a quote unquote right answer.
So I usually just put the first one and I let my students know, hey, the first question, the first answer is considered the right one, not because it actually is correct, but just because I need to put it for using this tool. Right? So you can decide which one is the right one just by clicking the little plus sign, the little check mark. And obviously more than one can be right if you want to do it that way. So if you wanted to, you can just make them all right. So that's another way around that as well. So the answers are also limited by character. So you see here, you have 75 characters that you can use per each answer. So keep that in mind. You can't have super long questions or answers when using this particular tool. But that's how you create a question. And so, oh, that was question 2 for some reason. Let's go ahead and drag it up. So it's question 1. And then you just keep on going. So each different question could have a different length of time. So if you need more or less for each, you can go ahead and decide individually what image, or if you want to upload an image, maybe there's a video that you want them to watch when answering the question, and then the answers here. Okay. So you have to have at least 2 answers, of course, but you can have up to 4. And so you just keep going and adding more and more questions as you need to. So just to show you the true and false one, right? It just gives you 2 answers instead. And once again, you can type out your answers. Though of course now it's just true and false. Okay, so you have all your questions created, right? You have them in the order you want them. Then you click done. Okay, and then it says if there's any errors. So as you can see here, it says the Kahoot can't be played because all questions need to be completed before you can start playing. And it tells you, hey, these 2, it's missing this information, right? Because I only made that one practice example. So if I'm going to go back here, and then as you can see here, you can go ahead and delete if you want to. You can also duplicate if you want to, a quiz question, if you need to have it twice, or if it's very similar and you're just going to change one answer or the terminology that you have in the question, where the case may be. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one, and delete that one, and delete that one. So all that's left is our one question that is complete. And again, click done on the right here. Yay, you're ready to play. Okay, so you can test it if you want to. You can play it immediately, or you can share it with others. So if you share it with others, it's going to give you can do an email address here, right? If you want to do it that way. Now what I like to do is I like clicking just done. Okay, and now it's part of your collection of Kahoots. And so when you want to play it, you can click play, and you can decide, okay, is it going to be immediately synchronous, or is it asynchronous, self-paced learning? Okay, so let's say I'm going to teach it, so it's going to be live. And once you do that, it goes ahead and you have, all right, it's loading. You can have up to 50 players, classic or team mode. If you're going to have teams, unlikely in this particular semester, but you can have, I'm going to play a classic game, right? And so you can, if it's not pro, you can see if you want to put on any of these particular settings. I'm going to just click classic, right? Now it's loading a game pin. So your students are going to go ahead and go to kahoot.it, right? And then they're going to put in this game pin. And when they do, you'll see their names pop up here. Once everybody's here, you can go ahead and click start and the game will begin. Okay, so if you don't like the lobby music that plays, you can adjust the volume, or you can turn it on if you want to, or change it. But this is how you create a game on Kahoot. Now going back, once a game is over, then you can go ahead and go to reports here in this tab, and you'll see how many students answered each question with a certain answer. So you can see, past games that were played, and when you choose one, you can have, all right, well, let me go to one that's anonymous. So this one was an anonymous survey that I had my students do in my gender and literature course. And so when you have here, again, it's not that there was a correct answer. I just did it the simple way. But you can see, all right, my players, the questions that were asked, and you can see for each one, when you click on it, right, how many students answered this question with the various answers, right? So you can see here exactly how many said, I disagree, I'm unsure, or I agree. Here's a different survey that I had students do. And if you go to questions here and you click one, it actually tells you how many students chose each answer right next to it. For some reason, my older ones don't have this option, but this one does. So it makes it even faster to figure out what the answer is. And I talk more about this activity in the video link below about having students design their own unit for my classes. Couple other things to point out quickly. If you go to the Discover tab, you can go ahead and see and look for Kahoots and questions that are free to the public to be used and downloaded rather than finding the question pool, right? The question bank and picking from there. You can see here as well which ones you might want to use for your own classes. You can filter them if you want to, right? Depending on what you teach and what grade level, to make it really easy, what language, right? So that's something that you can do as well when you're creating or trying to find examples to use for your own Kahoot games. And then groups, it tells you a bit more about it, how you can use it, right? I'm going to go ahead and skip intro, but if you want to, you can create a group in order to, if you have like co-teachers, right, then you can do it that way as well for collaborative purposes.
The other Kahoot resources are all linked below in case you're interested. Please like this video if you find it helpful, and comment below if you have any questions about Kahoot. I'll see you next time.